it is God's ordained and divine will for you to have a happy, good, phenomenal life. And then the second portion of our mission is to bring people on who are doing astounding things to touch and change people's lives. We recognize what they do and we say thank you for what you do. Well, I have someone that I'd love for you to meet because he meets that category very, very well. A gentleman indeed. Mr. Gary McDaniels, native Washingtonian, self-made entrepreneur and businessman right here in the metropolitan area. He attended Catholic schools along with his sister because his mother was very insistent on him and his sister obtaining a quality education. Mr. McDaniel denotes one advantage, along with many others, of him having attended Catholic schools. It contributes to his entrepreneur mindset that he has today. So without further delay, let's welcome Mr. McDaniel on. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And of course, may I call you Gary?
Sure you can.
All right. Gary, I talked with you the other day.
Yes, yes.
And your story was just simply phenomenal. Tell the listening audience about your humble beginnings of where you started out and where you are today.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Shirley, and DCTV for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. It's an interesting story. It really is. My humble beginnings started in Washington, D.C., of course. I'm a native Washingtonian, born and raised and educated here. Grew up off of 13th Street in Belmont by Cardozo High School. My mother, single parent, and sent my sister and I through Catholic schools. She wanted us to learn to compete with the other white brothers and sisters in our lives. So what we have done was we did our struggle. It was a struggle there because my mother didn't have much money, but she took all of her money that she had and put it into the education fund. It's a story I tell people a lot about. Me and my wife went to a party one time. We was invited to this big party out in Potomac, and it was all of these, you know, CEOs and high-level manager people. And I say, watch this, I want to show you something. So, you know, we got in conversation with them, you know, Ms. Thomas, and they, you know, eventually got around to me. So they say, Gary, so, you know, what business you do? What do you do? I said, well, I'm a chauffeur. So they just looked at me like, well, you know, he got a job, you know, whatever. But no more conversation came my way. So I grabbed my wife's hand, we went over to the other side of the room and struck a conversation with some more high-level people. And so they got to me again, you know, Mr. McDaniel, what do you do? So I told him, I said, well, I own a transportation company, I own a limousine company. Next thing I know, I'm getting business cards, see, because you have a product that you can give them, you know what I mean? You have, you know, you're not a liability, you're an asset, you know.
The A game.
Oh yeah.
What is the A game?
The A game. I learned that in sports. Coach used to say you got to bring your A game. That means you have to be at your top, you know, I mean, in performance or whatever you do every day. Your A game is something that people should practice all the time. Okay, be your best. Okay, you have to become a person other people would like to know. And if you do that the right way, okay, people will admire you, and that will bring another part of comfort in you to say, wow, people watching me now, so now I got to stay on top. You know, people are looking at me, you know. And it's not a pressure thing, you know, it's a rewarding thing, you know, and for us to be able to do these things and help people and employ people and you know, the people that work for me, I teach them how to own their own business as well as them working for me, because I want everybody to become better than I am. You know, I want you to be smarter than me, have more morals than me, have more integrity than I have.
Suppose you met someone that told you, I've been tugging at this thing for 20 years now and I have not reached where I wanted to be. What would you say to that person?
Well, I tell them, first of all, you can't give up. And what you have to do is go back. Just go back and retract the failures that you think that you did. Okay, and you have to really do your homework. Have you done your homework? You know, it's almost like raising a child. You know, like some of my friends come to me all the time and ask me, man, what you and your wife doing, man? Your kids are so, you never have no problem with your kids. And I used to ask them, excuse me, do you know that the math teacher that teach your child? Do you know the science teacher that teach your child? See, if you don't know these things, then you're not going to have a communication with your child because you're trusting other people. The same thing in your business. If you're not surrounding yourself with successful people in whatever you choose to do, okay, then will be a failure. When I got in this business, I try to find the best people, the best limousine companies, the people that was doing the big jobs and everything, and I watched what they did. I didn't try to create the wheel. You don't have to do that. You just follow what successful people have done, because there are people who have been here before us.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people that have been here before us that have failed and have succeeded and wrote books about it. And that's what I did. I just went to the bookstore. I just read about all the successful people. I followed all the successful companies in suit and stay committed. How committed are you to what you really want to do?
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you really want it?
You said something else that I just hold dear to my heart that's so astounding, is there's a difference between a chauffeur and a driver.
Oh, no question about it. Yes, it is. It's funny. See, all
we're getting ready to wrap it up. We got 1 minute.
We got 1 minute. Well, I can tell you this quickly. Chauffeurs and drivers. Well, everybody can be a driver, but everybody can't be chauffeurs.
Okay.
Okay. Chauffeur is a profession. It really is. It's something that you have to really understand. Your job to perform well, to be able to continue for people to trust you. You can't just be a regular driver. See, all drivers can't be chauffeurs. Chauffeurs can be driver, and I teach my the guys that work for me that all the time. We have a class on this kind of thing, because it's these people who are doing what they're doing in the world today, they got a lot of pressure on them, so they don't need to be worrying about the car, where it is, where some people might take a chauffeur job for, oh, I'm just picking somebody up. No, you're not picking somebody up, but you are picking up somebody. You're not just picking up anybody, you picking up somebody. And you have to be just as sharp as they are when you pick them up, And the pay is well too, so,
that just lets me know that the old saying that we say all the time is all about your attitude.
Yes, it is.
If you have the right attitude, you can reach farther than the sky.
Yes, your attitude is key.